Hello, happy Friday. Welcome to the Dr. Jaime Show. I am so glad that VidChat and Facebook is joining us today. We have a super special guest today, Duane Spires. He is an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, and I deemed him success guru. So hopefully he's okay with that name, but we are going to spend, he's giving me the thumbs up. It sounds like I'm good. We are going to have him on today. I am so excited that he is here, and I'm happy that you're here. This is your 1 hour per week that you get to learn about tips, about health, about fitness, about feeling good, about success, goals, and you get to take this into your weekend. What a great way to start the weekend. And then plan for your Monday, and hopefully it will keep you on track until Friday again when we meet. So I have some good news for you today. So we talked about on March 3rd, I was speaking, there's a speaking engagement going on. So the Dr. Jaime Show, we weren't going to have it on February 24th because that's the Superwoman Workshop, and then again on the 3rd. But I have fixed everything, and we are actually going to have the Dr. Jaime Show on the 3rd as well. And we have an astrologer coming on. How cool is that? We're going to do some readings on the show. I'm so excited about that. His name is Marty Montez. Got it. I have notes everywhere, and all my notes are all over the place. I'm so glad that he's going to come here. He wrote an amazing book. We're going to talk about his book. We're going to do readings on the show. It is going to be very, very fun. Okay, so next week we are not meeting, but I hope that you get your tickets to the Superwoman Workshop. That's next Friday at 9 a.m. You can go to my Facebook, which is Dr. Jaime Superwoman Workshops and Coaching, and you can read about the event and see if you want to attend. For those of you that are not in Tampa, Florida, that's okay, never fear. You can be a part of the workshop too. All you have to do is do the web version, and the tickets and everything that you need to know, again, is at Dr. Jaime Superwoman Workshops and Coaching. Hope to see you there. Those of you in person, you're scrapbooking with me, or you're getting a copy of my book. We are going to have so much fun. Are guys welcome? Guys are always welcome. So please feel free to join us as well. All right, so then on the 3rd, we're having Marty Montez, and then on the 10th, we're having Nancy Wall, and she is a matchmaker. We talked about her last week. She literally has thousands and thousands of people in her database, and you can come to her, and she can match you with your perfect match. I can't wait to see how this works. And for those of you that aren't in Tampa or aren't in Florida, she knows matchmakers in other states and can connect you with them. How awesome is that, right? And then we're having Janet Reynolds on the 17th. She is an ordained minister, but she's also a medium. So perhaps we could do a reading on the show. And I actually have someone that I would love to know what he's saying or thinking, and that is my Papa. So I will ask her if maybe she will do a reading and let me know what my Papa is saying up in the sky. So, which is super cool because let me tell you a quick story, sidebar. So yesterday was officially 1 year in my home. Thrilled about it because it's brought me so much joy. And those of you that surround yourself with people that you love, a home that you love, you know how great it is to be in that space. And that's how I feel about this home. But I found out yesterday, so I loved my Papa, which is my dad's dad, so very much. And he died several years ago. But I didn't know his birthday. It wasn't like that. Like, I loved him, I was close with him, but I didn't know his birthday for whatever reason. And I found out yesterday on the 1 year anniversary of this home that it is his birthday. So that was so amazing to me. It was probably one of those things that is meant to be. So I'm sure things like that have happened to you in your life along the way, and you didn't know why, you didn't know things, and then you figure it all out, and it's just like so beautiful, wonderful. Okay, and then on the 24th, the Dr. Jaime Show is bringing on PR expert Marsha Friedman. She has done so much for me as an individual and educating me on how to platform myself. She has a great book, Celebritize Yourself. Grab a copy of that, support her. And she will be on the show. And if you have any questions, if you're up and coming and you're trying to do things, she can definitely give you some expert advice on how to do that. And then on March 31st, so this will be the last one that I'm going to tell you about, our last guest coming up. This is through March 31st, we have Carlton Meadows, and he is a silver medalist in the Olympics. I am so excited. We're going to talk fitness with him. He has so many credentials and so many different things. He's trained the Navy SEALs. Like, he's done things with the Navy SEALs. I can't even tell you how long of a list of credentialed this man is in the area of fitness and exercise and health. So we're going to bring him on and we're going to chat with him and learn tips on exercise and where to start. Most of us aren't going to be Navy SEALs, so where can we begin? We might not get the gold medal or the silver medal, so where can we begin? And he's going to educate us on the steps we need to take. So okay, last minute things, Alliance program. So for those of you that are looking for trusted people in a certain industry, the Alliance program is up and running. Go to drjaimek.com, click on the tab that says Alliance program, and you can see how we are starting the list of people that I've interviewed that I trust, I've worked with and I trust. Patty, thank you for sharing out the video. Patty's on the list with Ink Graphics and Web Design. So many great people. We have speech therapists, Deb Decker, we love you. There's just so many amazing people on this list, financial advisors, that you can use their services and know that you can trust them. So that's at drjaimek.com. Am I forgetting anything else? No, those are the updates. Now, I do want to read you a couple things from the book that we are reading together, so you know the drill. After you've read, including men, The Superwoman's Guide to Super Fulfillment. Do we need to pause for a second while you take that in? Okay, we did. Okay, then go ahead and get a copy of Tools of Titans. Great book. It's divided into 3 sections: healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I chose to start with wealthy. Educate myself on this area, educate my clients on this area. So each section is composed of different interviews with billionaires, with people that are super successful. This book is by Tim Ferriss, if you want to know who it's by. So the few quotes that I'm going to read to you, probably take 2 minutes of your time, are by Seth Godin. I don't know if it's Godin or Godin, potato. He's just an awesome guy no matter what it is. And I'm going to read you a couple quotes from him. So one that I love, you are more powerful than you think you are. Act accordingly. I love that. So, and we're actually, Duane and I might chat about imposter syndrome at some point today, and perhaps we could even weave that quote into something to deal with imposter syndrome. So let me say that one more time to you. You are more powerful than you think you are. Act accordingly. I love that one. Okay, and then 237. Okay, so on 238, there's 3 quotes I want to read to you. Okay, and this is on saying no and declining things, which I spend so much time educating men and women on, and this ties so perfectly to this, I had to share it with you. The phone rings and lots of people want a thing. If it doesn't align with the thing that is your mission and you say yes, now your mission is their mission. So it's super important to wake up every day with your priorities and your life roles and your mission in mind. That way, when things from the outside world come in, you say no, because you know if you say yes, my focus here is now turning here, and I'm off what I wanted to focus on and manage or deal with for the day. All right, so the next quote here is on money. You can tell yourself any story you want about money, and it's better to tell yourself a story about money that you can live happily with. So what around you might deal with money that doesn't make you happy? Maybe you're working at a place you don't like. Maybe you're doing things that are unethical or not moral. Those types of things, yeah, you might have a lot of money, but you don't feel good inside. So really being able to tell a story about your life when it comes to money, that's a happy story. And then this is a short little blurb I want to read, and then I think I have one more for you today. Let me see. Yes, okay, so I have a short little story I want to read to you today. Okay, those of us who are lucky enough to live in a world where we have enough and we have a roof and we have food, we find ourselves caught in this cycle of keeping track of the wrong things. Keeping track of how many times we've been rejected. Keeping track of how many times it didn't work. Keeping track of all the times someone has broken our hearts or double-crossed us or let us down. Of course we can keep track of those things, but why? Why keep track of them? Are they making us any better? Wouldn't it make more sense to keep track of other stuff? To keep track of all the times it worked out, all the times we took a risk, all the times we were able to brighten someone else's day. If a narrative isn't working, well, then really, why are you using it? The narrative isn't done to you. The narrative is something that you choose. So once we can dig deep and find a different narrative, then we ought to be able to change the game. So Seth, thank you for those great words. And then the last little blurb I wanted to read to you today was on educating and teaching children. This one you got to put your thinking hat on for a second and really think about it, but there is definitely truth to this, and I want you to think about this for yourself as well. I think we need to teach kids two things. One, how to lead, and two, how to solve interesting problems. Because the fact is, there are plenty of countries on earth where there are people who are willing to be obedient and work harder for less money than us. So we cannot out-obedience the competition. Therefore, we have to out-lead or out-solve other people. So I thought that was super interesting. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Thank you, Seth Godin, potato, from Tim Ferriss's book, Tools of Titans. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Someday you will be watching my show and you will call in. Yes, you will, Seth. Maybe Tim, you will call in too. Until then, we are bringing out one of my favorite guests, Duane Spires, motivational speaker, entrepreneur. I need music. Come on down. Yay!
All right.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy you're here.
Likewise.
Take a seat. Yeah, so I got my cheat sheets here for us.
Hey guys.
Hi. Say hi. Yes. Yep. Remember, Big Chat, you can call in if you want to speak directly with Duane. Facebook, you know, you can message in questions and we will answer them live on this show.
Yes.
Yay! I'm so happy that you're here.
I am thrilled to be here.
Yay! Okay, good. All right, so before we begin, all the guests have to tell us something unique or interesting about you that very few people or nobody knows. And
I have a lot.
It's a PG show.
I have a lot of unique things.
Okay.
Let's take it back. You know, many people don't know this, and this is a pretty big deal. But I was the state champion in elementary school for being able to build the tallest structure out of milk cartons.
High five!
That put me on the map.
Are you still the reigning champion? That's what we actually want.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I love it. Excellent.
But for that year,
yes,
I could outbuild anybody with milk cartons.
Did you get a ribbon?
I think so.
Do you still have the ribbon?
My mom probably has a ribbon in some scrapbook in her closet.
It's framed, so it's just sitting out over the toilet in the guest bathroom.
Exactly.
All right, very good. So we want to hear all about you, your family, what you do. But first, we always post a quote up here. And you want to tell us if you agree with it or if you disagree with it. You can absolutely disagree with it. You just have to tell us why either way.
Absolutely.
So the quote today that I have up here, everyone, is too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. Do you agree or disagree with that, Duane?
I do agree with that.
Okay, why?
Yeah, I agree with it because everybody that I meet, including myself, we have ambitions, we have goals, we have dreams. We want a better life, we want to impact more people, and it seems like even though we have the drive to do so, we let the fears get in our way.
Yes.
And I meet so many people, they'll say, oh, I have these great goals, but, and then they have an excuse. It's always the but. So I see that all the time. And, you know, I constantly struggle with this because we have to be proactive. We have to keep ourselves focused on our goals. Otherwise, fears just naturally creep in.
Yes.
And that prevents us from success. So, yeah, I want you guys to reach your dreams. And it's
fear is like, and I know many of you have heard this acronym before, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like this little, like, let me give you an example of something that happened while I was writing my book, actually. This is while I was writing my book. And I remember on the days it was really hard, fear was like sitting right here. It would be like 1 a.m. and fear was still awake, sitting right here. Why are you up doing this? You have to be up early in the morning. You're tired. What is this book going to do anyway? You're not going to be like it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to come from it. Come on, Jamie, you're so tired. Fine, come on, we have excuses. And like it would just talk to me with all these excuses. So what I started doing to fear, like think of it like a little person, I'd say, you're probably right, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna see if you're right. But yeah, okay, I'll give it up to you. You're right. Well, just so you know, My book is in 4 continents and 15 different countries.
Nice.
So fear, go away. But that is what you have to do. You have to say, fine, acknowledge that fear is there. You don't have to shove it down and stuff it down, but still do it anyway.
Yeah, even the most successful people on this planet, regardless of their accomplishments, always have that.
Yeah.
They always have fear that's like right there.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, fear is a real thing. You're always going to fear that.
It keeps us alive. It keeps us from, falling off the side of a building. You know? But the thing about it that's different, fear and danger are 2 different things.
Ah, nice. Okay, wait, can you tell us real quick, and then I want to hear about you. Okay,
yeah,
so what's the difference between fear and danger? Give us a little.
Danger's like that imminent threat. If there was a lion or tiger right here that was about to jump on us and maul us to death, like that's danger.
That would be
okay.
Epic.
But the interesting part, it'd be good for this.
It'd be good for viewers. Yeah.
You guys would have an entertaining session today. But the difference between fear and danger is that danger is going to affect us now. Fear is the story about danger. And the difference is like our minds and our physiology, like we can't tell the difference a lot of times between the 2. So we treat fear as if it's real. Like, if like when you're finishing your book, for example, you will think about all these reasons why not to finish it. Like fear will tell you not to, and it tries to keep you safe, and it tries to keep you playing a small game in life.
Yes, keeps you in that box, but life happens outside of that box, right?
Exactly.
So, okay, all right. So we have so much to get to today, but before we begin, tell us a little bit about who you are. I want the viewers to know who they're getting their information from.
Yeah, so my name is Duane. I live in the Tampa Bay area. I am married. My wife's name is Lauren.
Hey, Lauren.
And she is wonderful. We have 2 awesome kids. In fact, I have a 12-year-old daughter who's in middle school.
Nice.
And we have a young one. She is 15 months old. She is fantastic. So my oldest daughter's name is Giselle. My youngest daughter's name is Carson. And an interesting story about Carson I was sharing with Dr. Jaime earlier today is that we used to always make fun of the parents that would enroll their young children into like sporting activities. And then we became that family that we used to laugh about. So at like 14 months old, she was enrolled in gymnastics. And after I witnessed her take her very first class, I turned to my wife and I said, she's going to use these gymnastic skills to like escape from her crib, to like climb up and down the steps. And I kid you not, literally the next day she could figure out how to climb out of her crib. She was opening doors. She turned into like a velociraptor from Jurassic Park. Like she's all over the place.
Did she have a vault in her room? Did she run and hit the springboard? And,
yes.
Yes, I
She
believe
can do
it.
flips. It's crazy.
Well, it's funny how much we change as parents. Like, I remember before I even had kids, you get the kid that's like screaming in aisle 5 at Target and they're kicking on the floor. I want that, I want that. And you're like, oh my God, those parents, like, why can't they
If
manage
that
those
was
kids?
my kid.
Oh no, my kid would be walking, holding my hand, being like, Mother, you're beautiful and wonderful. I had nothing in all of the toy aisles. No, false. So my kid screams in aisle 5. So if there's a kid screaming in aisle 5 of Target, it's mine. And maybe it's his, but it's mine too. So you change definitely. So for those of you that yell at us moms with screaming children that don't have kids, don't be judgmental just yet. Wait till you have a kid and then judge us then. Okay, so all right, very good. So I want to go ahead and tell us a little bit so we know about your family. Tell us about the business side.
Yeah, so for the business, it's funny, I use the term serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We own multiple businesses. We have a after school and summer camp business that serves hundreds of families in our community, and we get to make a pretty significant impact on the kids that are in our programs. So it's sports-based, we do life coaching skills, so the children that attend our programs, they become very well-rounded and they learn how to set and achieve goals. It's very rewarding, it's so awesome. And we wanted to make a larger impact because we knew that we could only serve a limited amount of families in our community. So what I did is I started a consulting business where I coach other business owners that do the same thing in the after school and summer camp space. And we teach them how to make their programs go to the next level.
Nice. So
I have clients all across the United States as well as into Canada, so we're international.
Wow, I love it.
And I would have never thought it would be as large as it is. And, it's kind of funny when you were talking about fear sitting on your shoulder. I mean, that was present every step of the way.
Yeah.
And I knew that my purpose and my reason and the legacy that I want to leave to my children was much bigger than that fear. So I had to keep pushing forward.
Oh, that's great. You want to leave something that's bigger than that fear.
Absolutely.
That's great. I love that. Okay, very good. Okay, and then aren't you going to Cozumel?
Yeah. So next week I get to pack my bags and go to Cozumel. I have a speaking engagement out there,
nice.
Which is really exciting, and I get to do a lot of scuba diving, which is like my favorite hobby on the planet.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about that.
Excellent,
Yes.
Very good. So I love it. You've got a little bit of balance. So you've got work, you've got scuba, you've got your beautiful family, a little bit of all over. I love it.
Yes.
Excellent.
Life by design.
Yes, life by design. That should be your tagline. Success guru, life by design. I love it. So now I want to jump into some of these questions here. The first one that totally pulled me out was you wanted to be an entrepreneur at age 19.
Yes.
Where did that fire come from inside?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I was originally from Ohio.
Okay.
And my family never really had a lot of money.
Okay.
Both of my parents were very hard workers. My mom was a preschool teacher. My dad was an electrician. And I always remember growing up and seeing them struggle to make ends meet. We always had a roof over our head.
Yep.
And but it was always tough. I was like the kid, that when the rest of the students in my class would go on a field trip, I was always staying behind because we couldn't afford the $5 to pay for the field trip. So I was always the teacher's helper, Yeah. And when I graduated from high school, I had a scholarship to the University of South Florida that paid for 75% of the tuition.
Okay.
But the problem was the other 25% of the tuition.
That's right. That's how they suck you in.
So it sounded great on paper, but the truth, was that we were still struggling to pay the other 25%. And I remember, as a young kid, always trying to find ways to make money. Washing cars, walking dogs, mowing lawns, finding golf balls.
Yes.
I would ride my bicycle a couple miles away to a neighborhood that had a golf course, and I would find golf balls and sell them. So I was always entrepreneurial as a young child, but when I was in college, it became very important for me to make a decision on if I was able to help my family pay for that 25%.
Okay.
And I had always trained in martial arts. Pretty much ever since I was 10 years old. So I had earned a black belt by that time.
Wow.
And I had this idea where I wondered if it would work if I would teach martial arts classes to kids, but I didn't have money to open up my own martial arts school, so what I thought was, I wonder if it would work if I would go into daycare and childcare facilities and bring my program to them.
Nice.
So the scholarship that I had for the University of South Florida stated that I could only take off one semester of school, or I had to forfeit the whole thing. So within the first year of me being in college, I had this idea, I decided to pursue it, and I literally remember getting in my car. I had to borrow gas money from my mom, $5, so that I could drive to a couple local neighborhood daycares and knock on the door and basically say, hey, my name is Duane, I love working with kids, I would love to teach karate classes. And I kid you not, they all said yes. And literally, the first woman that I spoke to, she brought me into her office and we were sitting across the table and she said, how much do you charge? And now the funny part is I had not even thought about that yet. I didn't know what I was going to charge. So I said $4.
I'll hire you, yes.
I said $4 a class. That's what it's going to be. And she said, how much for registration fee? And I said,
$4.
I didn't have a business insurance. I didn't have a phone number. I mean, this was before the internet was huge. And I remember that the defining moment was when she reached down behind the desk, and I was curious to see what she was doing. And she pulled out $8 cash, and she said, I want to sign up my kid. And she handed me $8. Now, $8 was a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
I was able to pay my mom back for the $5 I borrowed for gas.
We had $3 left.
And I had the $3 that I was able to go to McDonald's and buy like cheeseburgers. And
nice.
it was the best thing ever. So long story short, we went back and I did a registration. I had like 30 kids enroll.
Wow.
And then my mission was to see how many daycares I could replicate this at. Mm-hmm. And within 2 months, I had brought this up to a 6-figure business.
Oh my God.
So I actually ended up not going back to college.
Yep.
I ended up dropping out because the business had done so well. But the most important thing that I learned was that education was still vital.
Yes.
So, we can talk for days about types of education, but the education that, fortunately or unfortunately, that I had was the real life skill education where you fall flat on your face, you figure out what went wrong and you fix it. And then I also fell in love with reading. Uh-huh. So I probably read more books than most college students combined.
Yes. Reading is so important.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, very good. Wow, that's an amazing
That's kind of my story.
Like,
that's how I got started at 19.
Wow.
At age 19.
Excellent. Okay, very good. That's amazing at 19.
Yeah.
Doing that and platforming it. And that's still what you're doing to this day.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
I love working with young entrepreneurs because of that too. I love their drive and their motivation.
So were there any on this journey between 19 and now? Obviously, you've leveled up over the years, right? There's those stepping stones where we keep going higher and higher. Yeah. Did you have, and I'm sure you did, so can you tell us about some of the setbacks, like major setbacks you had, and how you kind of rebounded from those?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the major setbacks, and this is something that I never anticipated.
Okay.
When the business started growing, I had to hire people.
Okay.
So at first, I was the type of person that felt like I could do everything on my own.
Yes.
I was like a self-employed, Superman. Like I could go and do anything and everything.
Yes.
And then I realized very quickly that only gets you so far.
Yes.
So one of the things that I had to learn was how to become an effective leader.
Okay.
How to be able to delegate, how to be able to inspire my team. So right off the bat, I was so young and I didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't let it stop me. I had, bad hires, people that I shouldn't have hired. So that was something that was really tough. And one thing in particular that was crazy, and this, I'll flash forward for a few years, I had grown the business to the 7-figure level. Okay. We were in 55 locations, the news was doing stories about us, and things were really, really awesome. And then I remember tuning into the news, and I started seeing the word recession. Mm-hmm. Everywhere I looked, the word recession. People were having conversations about it, people were scared about it, and then it got to the point where we started losing students. Okay. Hundreds at a time. Mm-hmm. There was a month, consecutive months where we would lose at least 100 students. And I think right around month number 8 of this downtrend, we had lost 180. Wow. Now, to put things into perspective, most martial arts schools that are open, they have between 100 to 200 students total. That's kind of an industry average. In 1 month, I was losing almost that many. So for me, that was a big wake-up call because I knew that if I held on to what got me here, it's not going to get me here. Yes. Okay. And I like to talk about that a lot on stage. It's like what gets you here won't get you there. And I had to be able to let go of what was comfortable and try something new. Okay. And that's where it changed my life. So I really learned a lot from that experience of quick success and quick failure.
Okay. What would you say to those people out there? Oh, apparently we have a pop-up. Okay. What would you say to those people out there that fear is holding, it's setting them back? Yes. They're scared maybe to get to that next level. Maybe that next level is starting. Maybe it's leaving the corporate world, or maybe it's within the corporate world going for a promotion, or it could be anything, whether they're taking step 1 or they're taking step 11 to 12. Yeah. What piece of advice if fear is holding them back could you give to them? Yeah,
absolutely. The first thing is just to accept the fact that no matter what you do, fear is always going to be there. Okay. Every great person, everybody that I've ever met that is wildly successful, can acknowledge fear.
Okay.
So to pretend that it shouldn't exist is not good for success.
Okay, I agree with that.
We should always expect it.
Okay.
But secondly, you don't have to be fearless to take action.
Okay.
You also don't have to feel like taking action to move forward. So there's a lot of days where we wake up and we just don't feel like being successful today, but we still do what we need to do.
Nice.
And that's important because I think there's an illusion where people, they want to wait for the right time to get started.
Oh, yeah.
They want to wait until their kids are a certain age, or they have a certain amount of money in the bank, or things are good at their house. It's like the best time is now. It truly is.
Okay.
So my best advice is just to get started now and find something that you truly love. I know we talked a little bit earlier today before the show where if your motivation is money, your motivation can escalate very quickly.
Yes.
And it's exciting.
Yeah.
But money comes and goes. It's a cycle. So as money drops, if your motivation drops with it, that can start the downward spiral.
That's why you want to lead by that passion or those core values, because as money drops, that passion stays high. When you're motivated only by money, when money drops, your motivation drops. So it's when you live by that passion and you do by that passion, at least something is staying up here.
Absolutely.
That keeps you going.
And with me personally, when I look at the faces of all of these awesome kids and the families that we serve and the business owners that I serve, they are more important than the money. Okay, so no matter what, my focus is on them. And if I know that I can serve them at the highest level, the financial side of success will always be there and it'll continue to grow.
Well, that's exactly what I thought when you were talking about being 19 and going into the daycares or the child cares, because you said she asked me how much I was going to charge, and I hadn't even thought about it.
No.
That shows right there you weren't leading any of this by money.
I had no idea. Yeah.
And then she gave you $8, which doubled it right there on the spot. And so that shows you when you don't lead with money in mind and you're leading with that passion, your money comes.
Absolutely.
Very good. All right, excellent. So I would say then just start today is what I'm hearing. Now is the time. Okay, so if we want to start today, we need to set goals. This kind of leads into our goals. Tell me a little bit about your theory on goal setting, how you set goals. You're great at this.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Share with us.
So the first thing to acknowledge is people have all of these reasons to not get started.
Yes.
Okay, and I like to say that those reasons should be the reasons why you should get started. So for example, if you have a mother or a father and they say, oh, I have 2 or 3 kids and that's why I can't be successful, I like to challenge that. I like to say those 2 or 3 kids are the reason why you should want to be successful.
Excellent.
Okay, or I don't have that much money to get started. That's the reason to get started.
Yes, I love it.
I don't have a lot of time. That's the reason to get started right now, because eventually you will have the life you love. You will have time.
Right.
So really analyze, and it's funny because people can find those things that quickly in their life.
Yes.
All the reasons why not.
Yes.
That could be a first step. Just find out those and make them the reasons why you take action. But to have a clear path, it's as simple as just writing it down.
Okay.
I meet people across the country that talk about their goals and their ideas, and one of the questions to test if they're serious, have you written your goals down? Have you shared them with people that are close to you? And a lot of times they say no.
Okay.
So step 1, find something that you're passionate with, or passionate about.
Yeah.
Step 2, find your why. Like, why are you wanting to be successful? Like, who do you want to impact? And step 3, just get clarity by writing down your goals.
Nice.
Create an action plan.
Okay, I love it. Write down your goals, and I've said that a million times over. 90% of people that write down their goals reach their goals. So, in fact, I just spoke with Chris Fontana, who is a financial advisor. He is on our Alliance list. I just spoke with him, and apparently I said something to him over the course of maybe 2 years ago or something about goal setting. We must have had a one-on-one meeting or something,
Yeah.
and I did not remember that I must have impacted him, and I appreciate him sharing this with me, because that moved my day. When people tell me I motivate them, I feel that like fire inside of me, like,
Yeah.
oh, I did something, I love that. What I do is I have these like white posters, which you can see over there that I have. They can't see that, but I have these white posters, and I write my goals on there. So I have one in my room on this big piece of white paper that shares what I want to achieve this year.
Yes.
And then I have another one with the monthly goals. So the month of March, for example, and what I want. And I reach almost every single one that I put on that because it's in front of me when I wake up in the morning. I've written it down, I see it, I have a direction. At the end of the night, I look at it, I get to check things off, I feel grateful, I feel motivated, empowered by the little check boxes. It's amazing
Yes.
what the little check mark will do.
That's awesome.
Right? And so it's very, very empowering, and writing them down it has helped me. With writing them down, I also visualize.
Yeah.
So what about you? Do you believe in the power of visualizations?
I'm obsessed with high five.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me show you something real fast here.
Okay.
One thing that's important, writing down and visualizing. I'm obsessed with my goals. Like, I literally keep them. I shrunk down my goals onto an eighth of a page.
I love it.
And I put it in my wallet where the money goes.
Ah.
And when I find myself with a few minutes extra each day, I'll just pull it out and look at it.
Yeah.
And I do a lot like you. Like, I'll print it out and I'll put it on my bathroom mirror.
Yeah.
So I'm brushing my teeth and reading my goals, visualizing what it's going to be like. Yeah. And visualization is so powerful because when you can see yourself accomplishing the goals and taking the action steps that are necessary, it makes it infinitely easier.
Yes.
Okay? And it gives you that willpower that you need to succeed. Because look, we would be lying if we said that success is easy.
No.
It's not.
No.
We were talking before the show, it takes years to get to a super high level. And what's funny, there's a book called Good to Great. Okay. And it talks
I love that book.
the concept of like overnight success and all. But really what it's talking about is there are no overnight successes. Yeah. It's a series of small decisions, successes and failures, consecutively day after day after day that get you to that next level. Yeah. So visualization, so vital. Guys, it's so important. It's
so important. And I shared on one of the first Dr. Jaime shows about a woman named Florence Chadwick that swam the Catalina Canal decades ago. And it was, I want to say, just work with me here, it was like 22 miles that she needed to swim. At 21.5 miles, she gave up. And they said, "Are you kidding?" In interviews, what happened? And she said, "I couldn't see the end line because there was so much fog." Then she went out and she swam the Catalina Canal again a second time, and she achieved the full 22 miles. And that was because she said, when I got toward the very end, I just kept visualizing that goal line, what it looked like, even though I couldn't see it, what it looked like. I breathed it, I smelled it, I saw it, I was standing on it, and that pulled her to the very end.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so far, I think we come right to the end. So many of us come so far, and then we give up because we're just like, this is taking too long, I can't do this, and we're so close.
Yeah, and the thing of it is when you break down your goals and your dreams into small, actionable steps, you can focus. You know that the dream is there. It's not going to change, but you can focus on what's next, that little tiny step that's next. How do you eat an elephant? Yes. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. Yes. Like, you can't just accomplish everything overnight. No. So, for those of you that are watching this, just really understand that, either way, 10 years is going to fly by. Yes. Where are you going to be in 10 years? Where are you going to be in 20 years? What legacy are you leaving behind for your kids? And when we focus on taking one small step at a time in the right direction and not being afraid to fail, we accomplish our goals. Yeah. And if you don't start now, we talked about starting now, 10 years goes by and it's still not the right time because there's still not enough money in the bank account. Now the kids are too old. Or you feel too old. There's so many more reasons. All of those reasons to not start should be reasons to do it. Yes. Absolutely, I love it. Okay, so I want to make sure there are some really good questions that we'll come back to, but I really want to know about two things I want you to educate us on that the viewers haven't been provided information on. And one of it is the little voice syndrome. What is this? Okay, so first and foremost, everybody has the little voice syndrome. Okay. We've all contracted it. I call it LVS, okay? We've all contracted LVS. It's